Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I see we've got a lot of people in chat excited to talk a bit about Age of Empires with all of us here. This is a special show, a little bit different than our regular Relic shows we do. Obviously, the last little bit of time, some interesting stuff has gone on with the Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase. And so we decided we would bring both the Relic side and some friends from World Edge. We'll bring them on board in just a second. But for those who are tuning in, I'm Grant, one of the community managers here at Relic Entertainment, working on Age of Empires 4, and I'm joined by Annie.
Hello, everyone. I'm also one of the community managers here at Relic Entertainment for Age of Empires 4. Thanks for joining us.
And Quinn. He might not be a familiar face, so Quinn, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit there.
Hi, I'm Quinn Duffy. I'm the game director on Age of Empires 4 at Relic Entertainment. Been there a long time, so this is it's exciting to be in the final push for Age 4.
Awesome, and thanks so much for being on board. So this is us from the Relic side. Obviously, Annie and myself, we do kind of the regular streams we do over here, but Quinn is joining us just to talk a little bit about the game, get some of your questions in chat, and to bring on some discussions of what was recently talked about. So that said, that brings us to some of our special guests from World's Edge. We have Adam Isgreen
Hello, everyone.
and Emma
Nice
Bridle.
to see you all.
I'll let both of you
Hi.
introduce yourselves, kind of just say a little bit. Welcome to the Relic stream. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having us. Emma, why don't you go first?
Oh, hi. I was on the last stream for any of you that tuned in to the last one, and I'm Director of Customer Voice at World's Edge. So I work with all the teams that work directly with Age of Empires players.
And hi, I'm Adam Isgreen. I'm the creative director for the World's Edge studio. So I oversee all of the creative aspects of our games. So design, audio, art, music, narrative, to try to bring it all together into something that's really great for players all over the world.
So what I'm hearing is it sounds like both of you are great people to have on to talk about Age of Empires 4 here with everyone.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Hopefully.
Maybe. I don't know.
Just a bit.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. I hear both of you also had a very exciting time recently for the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase. So that's going to be a little bit what we're talking about today. So that was really cool. There was the fan preview back in May, which was probably our first chance we had to give people a bit more of an in-depth look at the game after that. The teaser back in 2017, so it's been a little while since then. Gave everyone a look there. Definitely saw some excitement. I mean, in chat, I see all of you really excited about Age of Empires, so definitely great to get that out there to show what we've been working on. And this was kind of another chance to show more of that content, give you a bit of a bigger look, along with a new trailer for Age 4 there. And I guess, yeah, for all of us here, like I can speak for myself. I was super excited to see that get out there, to let people see what we've been working on. I've had friends and family be like, how is it? How is the game? What's it look like? I'm like, just wait.
Same here.
Can't say
I have
anything.
friends texting me like, no, can't talk about it just yet, but just watch the show.
Yeah, it's always frustrating, right? When people are like hitting you up, like, "Hey, are you going to be?" Especially before E3 happened, and "Hey, are you going to be in the show? Or are you doing anything?" And it's like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe." You send that shrug. I love that shrug emoji. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. Paris was really awesome, and it was a lot of fun to go on with Emma. And the stage they built was really cool. We didn't get to go to Los Angeles this year to be at E3 like we normally would. But it was really fun. They Xbox took over the Seattle Convention Center, and we had this whole really cool stage. I don't know if you saw it, but not only did the background change, but those fins that came out did, and the stairs even were LCD screens that would match all the imagery. It was really well done. It was really nice.
The show is really amazing to watch, really fun. So many great games, and also everything I see everyone says basically Xbox One. Everyone really loved the stream, so.
Well, I mean, there's so many. There were so many good games shown throughout that entire week from everyone.
Games, yeah.
I mean,
Xbox showed 30, and 27 of them are going to be on Game Pass. So
that is
awesome.
quite the lineup, and it was such an impressive production too. Paris was a great host as well. Shout out to Paris, and both of you were so fun to watch on the. And Emma, just gotta give a special shout out to your amazing shoes. Someone tweeted about it.
Those are some killer shoes she had.
Seeing Emma's collection of shoes.
I am now worried that I've peaked, and so I have been shopping this weekend with well, next time I'm on camera, I've got to up my game now. So
But
Yeah.
how do you go from that?
I
You
know.
The only I would say the only person that topped you, Emma, for shoes was Sarah Bond with those LED
I've actually
sparkly
emailed
shoes.
her to be like, I love your shoes. Where
Yeah, that
can
was
I get them?"
amazing.
You get those shoes that little kids wear that light up when they walk and squeak. You know, it's like beep, beep,
Oh.
beep, beep.
I have some of
Yeah,
those.
those are fun for about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so we're gonna give you a look at that trailer in just a second. Again, for those who saw, we did have the fan preview back in May. Definitely, if you haven't seen, go check that out as well before. And then we're gonna let you take a look at this trailer in just a second. From the fan preview, I don't know if you saw, I have my Age of Empires 4 Stein. Had to get that ordered.
Mine's in the other
Oh.
room. All right, go grab it.
Should have brought mine in.
It's all about the swag.
I did killed by a boar because that's pretty.
You got
much
killed by a
what
boar as
happens
well.
to
I
me.
see. I was very much the same. Killed by a boar.
That was one of the best ones, yeah.
All right, so I think if everyone's ready, we'll let them take a look at this trailer that was shown
Yeah,
at
let's
the
do it.
game showcase. So we're gonna let this play. It's about a minute and a half, and we're not gonna say anything. We're just gonna let you watch it, and we will be back right after. So enjoy, everyone.
History is all around us. Those who made it have never been forgotten. Their daring choices echo across time, turning land into kingdoms and mortals into legends. If history was in your hands, what would you build? How would you fight? Where would you go? What will you be remembered for?
Play it day one with X.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at that trailer. I know it's been a long time since the first trailer I mentioned of the teaser of Age of Empires back in August of 2017. Then we had the fan preview. This is your latest look into Age of Empires 4. And you know, good things, they take time. This has been a labor of love for everyone here at Relic World's Edge and just pretty much anyone touching this project. It's such a big title, such a big franchise that has an amazing community, amazing history. It's been kind of part of everyone's lives for a long time. I definitely remember playing Age of Empires as a kid, playing with my brother, not really understanding the game back then. I was definitely younger, and seeing where it is now, it's been a lot of fun. I don't know if you caught at the end. Big information. Age of Empires 4 launches October 28th, 2021. That's this year. That's just just a few months away.
Four
That's so
months and a couple days. Ugh.
Yeah.
it's scary how close it is. It comes
Yes.
soon. Seeing that date, it makes it real.
Very
And
real.
going to be on Steam, the Microsoft Store, as well as Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Mhm.
So I'm going to open this up to everyone here. I guess Adam, you might be a good person. Tell us kind of what we just saw there. What you think.
You saw a lot of gameplay. You saw more into our approach towards the campaigns. We showed you some of Joan of Arc's campaign, and you got to see kind of the way that we're doing video this time around. The briefings and the mission descriptions are all kind of interrelating past and present together. We decided to take a completely different spin on how we were telling and teaching people about history and entertaining them at the same time. It's been something that's been really kind of a passion for myself and a ton of people at Relic as well, is to kind of find a new way to engage people with history. I've always been a big fan of history, but it's always like one of those things I've always said, like history is only as interesting as the person who taught it to you. And so we wanted to make sure that we were like the most vibrant, like energetic and fun history teacher that we could possibly be when you're playing the campaigns and learning about these civilizations that you're going to partake in their journeys through time with.
Yeah, and
But
it's
yeah.
definitely the campaign is a big part of that. The campaign has so much story, and for me, seeing the way we present this, the mix of basically real world with kind of these like superimposed gold ink is light kind of thing there, it brings you into kind of the history. It brings the history into the real world around us. It may like we're in a modern world, we go to these locations, you see this in this footage, but seeing these great epic battles unfold in this kind of this look before it tosses you right into them is really satisfying.
Well, it brings like a bit of magic into the education, right? Like someone will start playing it and then you start going into that Wikipedia spiral where you start looking something up because you played it, and then it gets you some facts that you never knew about before. And before you know it, someone's doing a PhD in history. And it's like, I started because of Age of Empires, and that has happened. We had folks do that.
I love that. Before you know it, PhD.
Yeah, it just happens. That's just the natural
Oh, what
progression of
happened?
things.
I got a PhD in history.
Whoa. I woke up one day and I just love it too that there's locations that we shot in. We shot all over the world when we were doing the footage here, and it's like someone could wake up and see this and be like, wait, there was a massive battle that decided the fate of all of Europe, and it took place right outside of my house. Like a lot of people don't realize that history really is all around you, and that it's incredible when you start thinking about how connected it really is and what's happened over time. So I love it's unique, right?
It really is.
Big theme of the campaign, doing that past is present, right? This kind of their connections are
Past is
not
prologue, right?
Yeah,
That's
not far not far removed, and the ground is still there and walkable, and when we did a couple of our trips to Europe to check some of these locations and meet with some of our partners, just to be able to walk those sites was kind of incredible. And we did a little William the Conqueror bit and went from where he launched his invasion back into his past to where he was born, and they're not far apart. They're we went to Normandy, and it's a dense piece of terrain for if you're interested in history. So it was a very cool trip and very neat to see that stuff.
Definitely jealous of that trip. I remember a little while ago, we have a ton of footage of the teams we sent over there. Like we did go to location. Well, not myself, unfortunately, but we did send people on location, kind of going scouting, getting the feel for this, making sure that we're as accurate to history as possible while still making the game fun and exciting. So that does mean like the kind of campaign you see it is the very documentary style mentioned. Annie mentioned that's how you just progress. All of a sudden, bam, you're a PhD in history.
And I think just to make it clear, the real world footage that you saw in the trailer is taken from the game. That's not stock footage that we borrowed to kind of illustrate the game. That is all taken from these documentaries that we've been talking about. So I know a few people were a little confused when we opened up with these big panning shots of the trailer and was sort of like, which game is this? But it's all going to be included in Age of Empires 4, and it'll bring history to life for you.
Yeah, it's definitely like it is a bit of a departure, I guess, from other titles, but I really do like how it feels. Like the production quality is so incredibly high. Like this feels like a documentary you can watch on TV for most of it. Like,
I mean, like I don't think anyone could do what we did, right? Like first, history games. We don't have a lot of games that deal directly with history. We have a lot of strategy and RTS games, but I've never seen anything done like this before, and it's cool because it was really one of those things that I think we had in the very original pitch for Age 4. It was like, how do we, humanize history? How do we connect people? How do we, what did I say or something? How do we Top Gearify history, right? I love what Top Gear did for car culture. Like, can we do that with history? And so that's the approach we've taken. And so far, so good. Everyone that's seen and played the campaigns and gotten to see how the narrative goes through the whole thing, it's been really exciting and rewarding to see people giving it thumbs up. So hopefully once it gets out to everyone in the wild in like 4 months, that everyone will enjoy it as much as we did in creating it, right?
And
sorry, go ahead, Emma. Go for it.
I was just going to say, as we've been talking about the way that campaigns are told, we actually, as part of the trailer that we just showed you, we announced the second of our 4 launch campaigns, and that's the 100 Years' War. So as you noticed,
There we go. 100-Year War.
Well, I'm seeing Norman, but yeah.
Oh,
there you
it
go.
switched
Yeah.
over.
There we go.
So,
Go
yeah,
for it.
That's a preview of ageofempires.com. We've updated the info there for all the civs and the campaigns that we've announced so far, so that you can deep dive into learning some more about units and the stories that we're going to tell. But yeah, we announced the 100 Years' War with a familiar face from history in Joan of Arc, who's a bit of a heroine of mine. It's cheesy, but I'm wearing her around my neck again because she's such an icon. But for me, in an era where women didn't have a lot of rights, you have this teenage girl who leads an army, to try and reclaim her country. It's very, very inspiring, and people obviously love Joan from Age 2, from her campaign there. So we're excited to see her make a return into the 100 Years' War campaign, and her appearance in the Age of Empires 4 key art, which is very, very beautiful.
Yeah, I really love the diversity of the campaigns, the missions that are in the 100 Years' War too. I think it's one of the coolest. I mean, I love all the campaigns we have, but that one's got some really great, unique missions in it that I think are going to stand out, as people play through.
Such a long conflict to cover. So obviously there's so many stories we could tell, but I think it's going to be a really fun one for people to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it shows the breadth of the campaigns too. These aren't just about individual characters, although they do play a role. Obviously, Joan is very important to French history, but we are spanning the 100 Years' War, and it's actually something like 121 years. So they lied.
The title's a little misleading.
I mean,
100
years sounds
it
better
just
than
doesn't have a ring.
121.
Yeah, it's branding and marketing. But we start with the sort of the beginning of the conflict and go through the different stages of it, and the different, it flares up and dies down and flares up and dies down, and this constant struggle between these two kind of powerhouses and fighting over the who gets to the throne. There's a lot of very interesting drama there, and some exciting stories to tell. One of our visits was to Rouen in France, where Joan of Arc was burned at the stake, and there's the location is there. And our narrative director at the time, she got quite emotional walking around there and seeing the site where Joan of Arc was put to death at the time. So there's some dark sides to history as well, and you can't avoid all of those either.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't know exactly how old she was, but it's believed she was only 19. When she was burned at the stake, which is just it's really
crazy thinking about that.
Yeah, really.
What I was doing at 19 is so different.
Yeah, I was not leading an army.
Think about
No, nothing quite as noble.
Yeah, sorry to bum out the stream there. That was
no, not even close.
Went to a dark place.
It's light and dark, right?
Yeah, it's history. That's what it is. We present it. Right? Yeah, and so alongside the 100-Year War, you saw at the very start when we first switched to the slide, there's also the Norman campaign is one of our other campaigns that we announced.
What a great shot.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So all of the campaign information like this is also on the Age of Empires website. It's been updated. You can find it there. But this is the second of the campaigns I was teased with William of Normandy, and basically his hard-fought road to conquer England to become its new king. So this is again one of the campaigns. It runs for quite a long period, and it's just absolutely amazing to be tossed into that. Again, this uses the real-world footage mixed with that ink is light kind of golden effect before it tosses you into these campaigns, which is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, having grown up in England, 1066 Battle of Hastings is basically the beginning of your history education. So getting to play it is very, very exciting. But for anyone that missed the Norman campaign introduction, that happened at our fan preview event in April. All the videos are on youtube.com/Age of Empires if anybody wants to go back and either rewatch those or catch them for the first time if they missed them.
All right, I think this is probably a good spot to jump over to the other part of what we want to talk about is the civs. The civilizations are a huge part of Age of Empires. They've been just like a huge part of the classic. So Age 4 is going to ship with 8 civilizations. 4 of them were revealed at fan preview: the Chinese, Delhi Sultanate, English, and Mongols. And 2 more were revealed at the Xbox Bethesda Game Showcase: the French and Abbasid. So this is the French here. If someone wants to talk about it, or I can, either way. All right, I'll go for it.
No, I was going to suggest, wait, Quinn.
Let Emma go for it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh gosh, this is the awkwardness, everybody, of being on these calls.
Polite, no, you.
Oh, it's Brits and Canadians as well. Everyone's way too polite. But yeah, so during the trailer, we actually, as Grant mentioned, we revealed 2 more civilizations of French in the Abbasid Dynasty, and so you saw some gameplay of those. What you're seeing on screen at the moment, again, is ageofempires.com, where we've got more information. Yeah, we revealed the French, who are super strong in trade. On the website, we've included information about landmarks and different units, like the Royal Knights and the cannons, and things that are going to make the French a special civ to play. But as Quinn and Adam, you're directly involved in the design. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what makes the French special?
Yeah, I think you covered a bunch of it. We to talk about the sort of the high level, we like to go back to history as a reference, as a tool and as a guide to building the civs. And from the start, we wanted to try to take our civs in a slightly more asymmetric direction. And I think as we've built the civs and worked with the community and worked with World's Edge, we've found that people wanted a little more asymmetry. And so we've been trying to push them further apart and reflecting their history more favorably in the design and essence of the civilizations. So the French, knights, crossbows, a big economy, the ability to kind of boom late. Their units, their villagers get cheaper every age from the TC, so you can really start to build the economy. Lots of upgrades and special abilities on some of their core units. The crossbowmen get this cool pavis that can shield them from range damage. So there's some cool tactical stuff, and that reflects their history. The French actually had a position called the Master of Crossbows, who was one of the kind of the great champions of the king. They had these marshals of France and the Master of Crossbows, and these were important weapons on the battlefield. So we wanted to reflect that in the design of their civilization. Architecture is beautiful. They're a fun, rich civ to play.
Don't forget their trade too. Like I'm always like, how much money are you getting? Oh my God. Like all of their trade options and the abilities that they have that go beyond the other civs in order to tweak their trading. Like, oh my gosh, it's always crazy, especially when you're observing a high-end game and you're like, why do you have so much? Oh, you're playing the French. Oh, okay, yeah. That's why you have so much resource.
Yeah.
Now I see.
Chamber of Commerce, you've got your trade carts going. Yeah.
Yeah, well, all the options they have for trade are that, not going to give anything away, but people will
and I think
speculate.
that is kind of that asymmetric civ. Like, this is definitely one of those where you are very heavy on the economy. Like, it will build you up pretty quickly.
And so I mentioned the Chamber of Commerce and landmarks, but maybe we want to explain a little bit about what landmarks are in case anyone's not familiar.
Okay, well, I can do that. So landmarks, we see a lot of things, even in the stream chat. People are asking, like, is this game more like Age 2 or Age 3? And it's kind of a hybrid in some ways. So one of the things that we have in Age 4 is a system that's similar-ish to the age up system in Age 3. So when you age up now, you don't just push a button and a time bar goes and you're the next stage. You actually build a building that signifies your advancement to this next stage that you're going to take. And so you get to choose, and every civilization you get 2 choices every time you want to age up, that you have to build a landmark building. And the buildings have all kinds of different unique properties to them. And some of them have area effect bonuses. And so there's strategic places to place them. Some are more focused on trade, some are on combat, some are on economy and villagers. So you really get to pick and kind of customize the way that you want to play. Also unique to Age 4 now is that in the typical game, we used to have basically conquest mode, which is like kill all the town centers and you win. Now it's actually you have to kill the landmark town center, which is the town center you start with, and the landmarks that people have placed. So there's multiple buildings you have to take out in order to beat somebody.
I had a great game the other week where someone was coming in and destroying all my landmarks, but I had a secret pocket of villagers, so they're destroying one, move on to the next one, and then I'd send the villagers around the back.
Run around and repair the landmark.
So they're going, I swear that was gone a minute ago.
Yeah, like,
why is the counter going up in one direction?
Why am I going in a circle here and killing? Landmarks can be rebuilt too. So if you lose one during play, you can push the enemy out again. You can rebuild it and keep going. So
yeah.
Sorry, Grant.
Go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to hop over to the Abbasid Dynasty.
I was going to say, should we talk about the Abbasid Dynasty?
Let's talk about the
look at that.
Abbasid.
Same train of thought. Here we go. So yeah, the Abbasid Dynasty is the other of the two civs revealed at the game showcase. Opening this up again to everyone on chat. Feel free, whoever wants to take it.
Oh man, I'll just start. So the Abbasid Dynasty, in our video, you saw, the Abbasid Dynasty is great because they really do want mixed forces because of the way that the camels work. They have area effect buffs that basically can augment all of their different units. So although in the video we showed a lot of camels, typically you would have less camels in there because they're expensive for one, and two, you want them spread out and kind of buffing your other troops to give them bonuses. A big army of just camels is probably not the best thing to do. It's exciting in a video, but you're probably not going to play exactly that way when you're actually playing as the Abbasid Dynasty. But man, what a cool civ. Again, a very unique approach to how the landmarks are done. So instead of spreading out with landmarks, you have one, which is the House of Wisdom, and you keep upgrading it with new wings that give you all kinds of cool technologies and take you through the ages. And there is a lot of really fun tech that they get that is, again, unique to that civilization. I don't know, Quinn, you love gushing about details on the civilizations, so I'm going to let you talk to them.
Well, I just think one of the things that's kind of unique too about the House of Wisdom is that you can build your wings in different orders. So there's lots of different ways to age up in an order. If you're in a team game, if you're on a defensive map, maybe you want to do an economic approach first and try and boom and catch your opponents later. There's lots of neat options in the different wings, and they reflect different areas of the game that you can kind of invest in and tackle first. So there's lots of choice there. That was something with the landmarks we wanted to introduce, was to give players lots of choice and lots of replayability and lots of options up through the age mechanic. And the Abbasids are no exception to that as well. So and just the kind of effort that we've put into the presentation of the civs, engaging with our historians and subject matter experts, languages. All of the civs. We've touched on this in the past, but for those who maybe haven't seen, they all speak the medieval versions of their languages, starting 800, whatever the version of the language they spoke around 800, and then it evolves each time you age up, and it's no exception for the Abbasids in Arabic, and we've got Persian and Mongolian and Old English and Old French. Old French is neat because it's getting kind of close to Spanish and Italian at the beginning, so you're like, he just said C. What the you see where they started and evolved over time. So it's super cool.
Music too. The instrumentation changes.
I love
more layered in.
Yeah, the Abbasid Dynasty music especially. The vocals in that are incredible as they come in through the ages. That's good stuff.
Do we want to talk about Naval, Grant?
I mean, we can talk a little about Naval if there's something we want to talk about. I don't necessarily have a slide ready to go, but definitely welcome to...
sorry, I've sprung it on you. But no, we, at the end of the fan preview event, for anyone that did watch it, we did have that very short, brief tease of the ships sort of rolling in, but with no context, just that we were going to tease something that was coming up. And so in the trailer, we got our first proper look at naval combat, which was exciting. That was another thing that we really showed off last week. Quinn and Adam, do you want to talk a little bit about what makes Naval exciting?
Well, our overall goal when we approached Naval was to try to figure out ways that we could make it even more interesting than it had been in previous Age games. One of the big things that we've been working on is the idea between ore and sail ships and how those could be different in combat. We had it pretty crazy actually for a while. I mean, Quinn will know this too. Like we tried a lot in terms of trying to make Naval feel really interesting and compelling, and it's really challenging because the minute we started with the whole like sailing model and tacking, and the ore ships could turn on a dime, right? They could stop and turn, whereas the sail ships kind of had to drift. And man, it got hard, honestly, to play the game. And so we've gone all over the place in terms of trying to tune that in and make it feel like there's still a noticeable difference between sail ships and ore ships. And we'll continue to iterate on it right up until launch, and hopefully it'll feel great. And if not, we'll keep working on it. But it's definitely something that we want to make sure shines so that people feel there's more strategy than just like picking the bigger ships, but that actually even smaller ships have advantages because of the way they can turn or handle based on the big ones. But it is fun to see firing arcs and cannons shooting and all kinds of great things that you can have in the naval play. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting, right? It's one of those things that Age really is an all theater game. So you need to represent all the different types of combat that were in the time period. And so it's great that we were able to get Naval in and try to push it a little further than what's been done before.
Yeah, and I think as you mentioned, seeing that change of Naval, like I remember when I first played the game, and this is a long time ago now, seeing where we've come from there, seeing Naval kind of polish and seeing that take shape, the current form, it's really fun to play. And I do see in chat we have a question from Ryan SC2. Will maps be designed to create a meta where Naval gameplay is kind of part of builds a strategy, or is it more rare for competitive?
Well, I mean, our hope is that Naval is just as interesting and part of the larger conversation on strategic play for high-end gameplay than it would have been in previous games. Excuse me. A lot of people in Age 2, especially at the high end, they don't even play on Naval maps, and so we would love to change that conversation that people feel that strategically Naval is really important. We are doing a couple of things in terms of resources that make Naval pretty darn lucrative and something that people want to go after. We'll see if it manifests in game, and we'll keep tweaking it from there. Well, we definitely want it to be part of the conversation since so much time and effort go into building the entire naval aspect of the game. We want it to shine.
Yeah.
Quinn, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, there's a lot of fun naval maps that we're playing. We will ship with naval oriented maps of several different varieties. Getting water involved in strategy and gameplay. I think the ships themselves have elements of tactical play and skill. When you add broadsides and side shooting ships, and you can maneuver, and I like to kind of run up between fleets, and you can engage targets on the shore with one side of your broadside and targets in the water with the other side. And at getting the big ships, the big carracks and these are super weapons of their era. Just having them sail back and forth and just devastate the shoreline is a lot of fun. And then your transports go in, and it's got this, I don't know, sort of World War II vibe, like Normandy beach assault. I'm just trying to remember where I might have found some reference for that in the past, but it's really cool. You get this neat mixed force, and supporting your attacks on shore with the big ships and the guns, and there's really neat elements of gameplay. Your resources, they take a lot of wood, and so it changes up maybe your resource mix and forces you into some different play patterns. So it's a lot of fun to play on naval maps right now, and I think just makes the game feel different. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and to answer that, I think it is definitely something we do hope people really enjoy and start playing more and more. That's why there are the naval maps. It's not forced on anyone. It's definitely there as an option, and it's really polished. It's a lot of fun to play as. I think.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to add. Like yesterday, there was a game on a map, and it generated with two sacred sites on two small islands right in the middle of the map, and it was all water surrounding it. So everyone was battling. You couldn't really land on the islands to build anything, but you could just land to capture. And so naval was the only thing you could do to defend. It was this crazy like water-based version of King of the Hill, basically. Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Also, chat. Yes, we do read the chat. I see people being like, panic.
Yes,
they actually
we
look
are
at chat.
reading
They're
the
reading
chat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We aren't answering every question just because we are trying to make sure we finish on time, so we're not kind of people have other meetings, everything to go to, but we are here. We're going through chat. I mean, we could probably stay all day, right? This is totally what we can do. One other person asks, good question. Not sure if you can answer this right here on stream, but definitely worth mentioning. Will maps be procedurally generated as previous titles, or will they be set in stone? I don't know that we never necessarily said anything specific on this, but
yeah. No, they're randomly generated. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It's a hallmark of Age of Empires is that you have randomly generated maps. So we wanted to make sure we upheld that. And man, we got some cool ones. I'm very excited about some of the options we're adding for this time around. Some of the map choices you have.
Yeah, that was a big investment and challenge for us to do map generation on 3D terrain, and the algorithms that drive that, and trying to keep things as fair and balanced as possible, and
I would say
possible
years.
seeds. It's been years.
It's been years trying to get it working correctly. I mean, I remember Yeah, it's been years getting that working. Whew.
It's been good for a long time, but it really,
Yeah.
the threshold for fairness is high, right?
Mhm.
Competitive players expect as much fairness as possible, so we wanted to make sure those, the system that generated these maps was really solid, and I'm sure we'll be doing tweaks with it and stuff, but the tech is great, and the results look really good. We wanted to make sure that they looked as good as a hand built map, and so far the results are really fantastic.
Yeah.
Spotting just one more question in the chat that we can ask about whether you can make units out of landmarks, and yes, you can.
Yeah, depending on the landmark, right?
Some will
landmarks
act
do,
as-
some don't. It depends.
Yes, some will
Sorry.
act like keeps, some act like a town center, some you can produce units from. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, you can.
Some act as markets. There's lots of different. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Keeps, everything. Yeah.
Awesome. So, just moving on a little bit here beyond these civs and campaign we've kind of talked about so far. After the main Xbox Bethesda game showcase that took place on June 13th, there was actually a extended version with.
Yes.
I hear you both, Emma and Adam, might know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I seem to recall something about that one.
Seeing the two of
There
you
we
on
go.
stage there with the key art behind you.
Oh, it looked
Such a
set.
cool,
I know Adam's
yeah,
already said, but the
That-
set
that
looked
was a
awesome
great
set.
so good.
That set
So
was
good.
so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the
Gosh.
art looks so good. Oh,
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
watching
Craig
this, it was cool.
Mullins. Yeah.
It was definitely, this was a kind of just talking more about the game. There was a,
Mhm.
I believe it's around 7 minutes or so of talking with both of you. So
Mhm.
we're not going to play the whole thing because it is long, but for those interested, definitely go check out on the Xbox YouTube. I believe it's hosted on there. You can
Yeah,
definitely
we're
go
going to
check
be
that out.
popping it on the Age of Empires YouTube later today if people want to go and rewatch that segment, because it was a long show and Adam and I just had a small portion of it. But it was great. We were able to go and sit down with Paris and talk through what exactly was shown in the trailer, break it down a little bit, talk about what's coming, and we did actually save an exclusive reveal for that show. So for anyone that missed it, we can redo it. But we revealed the remaining launch civs and the remaining launch campaigns for Age of Empires 4. So we have 2 more civs coming, the Holy Roman Empire and the Rus. And we have 2 more campaigns coming, the Rise of Moscow and the Mongol Empire. So we're not ready to show those just yet. As you can see, they're displayed on the website is coming soon, so we'll have more to share. So this was a tell, don't show, but just to let you know what's coming on the horizon as we reveal more and more about the game, because as you know, it's going to be launching on October 28th. So we're really in this this dual cycle now of finishing up the game, but also really making sure that we're putting out information, sharing more, and talking about it with our community ahead of the launch. So that was a really exciting thing to be able to share with everybody.
Yeah, and I did see this question come up in chat. This was a little while ago. Been saving it for the right moment. From Mr. Maddie. Question to the panel for today. Now that all the civs have been revealed, what's your go-to civ to play?
Mongol.
Deli Sultanate.
Oh, you guys have quick answers.
Delhi Sultan as well for myself.
Delhi Sultanate.
Between Delhi and Abbasid. The Abbasid are really
Delhi
good.
and Abbasid, yeah. Actually, you know, right? Those two. Yeah.
For me, the camels are a hard thing to say no to. If you
The
watch me play,
elephants, though, on the Delhi Sultan, and
Camels versus
their whole
yeah,
scholar tech system, I absolutely love. I love the Sultanate for their
know,
also their like 0 to 100 miles an hour in terms of tech research, how the whole system works. Yeah.
I know Elliot loves French, but I do remember one time he came at me with this huge army of elephants out of nowhere, and I just started panicking, and
It's easy to
But it looks
panic.
really
Yeah.
cool. I'm biased because do I have to say the English? The English I have an obvious emotional connection to the English because having grown up in the UK, the buildings are spot on. Hearing the language, it makes me homesick in like a good way. So my heart belongs with the English, but I have been playing a lot of the Chinese lately and really
It's
enjoying
another really great civ.
the
too.
tax collector as a way to, keep gold coming
I
in.
love tax collectors.
Yeah,
They're so great.
and I really love the fact that I can, you can build both landmarks. You have the choice to do 2 landmarks when you age up, and then as the Chinese, if you want to, you can go and build both and create dynasties, and that's been a really fun thing to be playing around with and kind of looking exactly what you want to choose and where you want to grow. So Chinese at the moment.
it's team.
There's so many
like
unique units and buildings for the
Mhm.
Chinese. So they're all my favorite, but I think the
it's
Chinese might be my just a
It's a very diplomatic
titch over
answer.
all the other ones.
yeah,
They're all
it's
my-
a hard
all my
question to
children, I
answer.
don't have a favorite.
But
Yeah.
I think it also depends a lot on if you're playing a team game or not. Because the
Mhm.
Mongols are such an amazing team player
Yeah.
to have, right? With the Gers and how how you drop some of those down. You're like, hey, have some sheep, right? Like, there's so many great ways to share tech kind of between the civs when you're playing in team games as well. I think a lot of it has to do with who's playing against who, right? And what the other picks are in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it is a lot of that how asymmetric the civs are. Like there's different reasons to play each one, and it depends not only how you're playing, whether you're playing by yourself or with a team going against AI, different players, all of that, but also how you want to play that day and how you want to manipulate your enemy's movements. Because depending on your civ, depending what your enemy does, you might choose to play entirely different. And that's the nice thing is with the landmark system, you have that choice as well of, for most civs, like the two different options. It's like, do you want to go after option A or option B? These two will substantially change how you play the game potentially too, depending on that. So there's a lot of...
I think just every game is different as well, depending on who you're playing, what civs you choose, what map you get. Just there's never two games that are exactly the same, and so we're playing the game daily at this point, and so it's really exciting to see people sharing screenshots and telling their stories of the great moments from their match in victory and defeat, right? So, so you can still have great moments if you don't win, but that's really exciting, and so we're really looking forward to, up until this point we've had the game being played by our community council who've been on this journey with us, but we will be putting it in the hands of a wider audience in a closed beta, and that's on the horizon. And so just a quick reminder to everybody watching, if you want to get hands-on with the game and you haven't yet, please go to ageofempires.com and sign up to be an Age Insider, because that's how you'll be considered for these upcoming opportunities. Oh, look, there you go, Gratz.
There you go. I'm way a step ahead of you.
There
Also,
you go.
Yes,
I know we
go
were
and sign up.
Yeah, definitely go there, sign up. It's the best way to find out any information. We'll also be, you'll sign up, you'll get emails when stuff comes out, but also be considered for the beta. More information on that coming at a later date, but definitely sign up if you want to be kept in the loop. I do also, we were talking a little bit about the different asymmetricness of civs, and someone asked, Matt H. Cozy, which civ encourages micro the most? And I don't know necessarily there's a good answer to that other than all of them. It really depends on how you want to play in the situation. There's so much to do with each civ. There's so much to learn.
There's a unit in the HRE that's just like got ludicrous micro potential, depending on the situation, right? You can just go and not talk about those yet.
Definitely.
But like, there's so many units depending on how how you're playing and what you're playing and what units you've got in the mix. There are definite opportunities to micro all kinds of different units for different advantages.
For sure.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm really looking forward to is when the game launches and people start streaming, just being able to cycle through and watch, our community play the game and see the different ways people are playing, which civs they end up falling in love with, what their different strategies are, which units they're using. And I think that's going to be really interesting for all of us, is to get to watch other people play. It's been in our hands for a long time, so we're excited to put it in the hands of our community and our players and see what they do.
No kidding.
The closest thing to that at this point is watching the balance team. And,
oh my God, they are so good.
Extended.
There are people I play against who destroy me.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any of them on here, but
there are probably some in the chat.
Yeah, the type of play that they've introduced and things they've tried, and
the strategies where you're like, wait, you can do that? I had no idea.
Making furious notes of, right, I'm going to give that a go next time.
100%. Like when I play against Annie and Elliot over on the community side at Relic here, I feel like I can... Elliot's really good, but I feel like I can at least have a chance. But when I play against some of these balance members, it is like, I'm sorry, no.
Watching them is
we'll do 4 or 5 versus 1.
Yeah.
And you can tell we play against our sort of lead balance guy, Eric, and he's you just know he's half throttle. He's playing with one hand. He's probably streaming YouTube or something on another window, and he's still just
kicking everyone's butts. Yeah.
I see Elliot
and micro.
Elliot, I see you in chat. Elliot's like, chance. I would say that we have a
we're
we
getting
have a
past in the
chance against
chat,
you,
yeah.
Elliot.
Mhm.
You will win probably most of the time, but to be fair, you've had more time with the game. I joined after you
We were
did.
close last time.
We
We
yeah.
were pretty close last time.
Oh, for sure. But
You were
I
in
feel like the
between
next time we play, we're
Ellie.
going to have a challenge.
Mhm.
That said, I want to make sure we're kind of respectful of everyone's schedules here. We are running a little bit close to 11. We're like 8 minutes away. I guess want to wrap up if anyone has anything more they want to talk about before we go into kind of some of the pre-order side of this.
I was going to say let's talk pre-order and just make sure everybody has all the
Awesome.
information.
Yeah, so for pre-order, there we
Yeah,
go. Let
so
me just
if-
get this over here.
Oh, there you go.
Got a slide. I'm good for this. So yeah, there's two different
Wonderful.
options for pre-order. There's a standard edition as well as a deluxe edition. We'll cover kind of what's in the digital deluxe in just a second. These are available for the standard edition. It's on the Microsoft Store, the Steam Store, but you can also get it from Game Pass for PC. It's going to be on there as well at launch.
Yeah,
includes
and
the
if
ga-
you do order, if you do pre-order the game, you'll get the upcoming Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition DLC Dawn of the Dukes as part of that pre-order. So
And
that'll be
that's
coming.
you get that either the standard or the digital deluxe, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I saw someone in
Yes.
chat asking that question. Just want to make super clear. Yes, you pre-order either,
Either.
you get that DLC.
Yeah.
Definitely super. It's a
And-
good value to toss in there, and it's something to start playing right away.
Yeah. Well, when it
Well,
launches.
right away
Yeah.
ish. Yes.
Yeah.
While you're
so
waiting.
we're going to be adding more content to Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. So we're adding civs and campaigns. So there'll be more content coming. So that's a really exciting part of the pre-order. And then I've seen lots of people asking in the chat about the digital deluxe edition.
Yes.
So we can cover that. So there's some really, really cool things that we've added in. You'll get a digital soundtrack. We've talked about the music on this stream so far, but really is fantastically beautifully done. And that's a huge thing of itself. A unit counters chart, a compilation of the Craig Mullins art that he's done for Age of Empires 4, a beautiful example being the key art that you can see here. And then we've got coat of arms, a player profile portrait, and a monument. And I know that people have been asking what exactly those are. So I figured we could actually clarify so people understand what they're getting if they pre-order this version.
So I'll talk about it.
Yeah,
So coat of arms. So the coat of arms is in the game. You're not only do you have a player portrait that you'll see when you're matching up against other people or playing casually, but you also can create a customizable coat of arms that has all kinds of different symbols and colors and tabards and all kinds of things that you can use to make it your own and make it a personal extension of you. So you get a bunch of cool, unique symbols and art and stuff like that that you can use in order to create a coat of arms that other people won't have that didn't have the digital edition. And then the monuments. So this is something neat that we added. Basically, you know how your town center, you've got that big empty space in the middle of it? Well, guess what? You can put monuments in it now. So as you play through the game, you'll unlock a bunch of different monuments, but there's also going to be a completely unique one for the Digital Deluxe that you can put in your town center. So anytime you play a multiplayer game or a skirmish, you'll actually have a unique monument in your town centers that represents the one that you wanted to pick. And so that's part of those are those two things for all the people that were asking. So monuments are literally a visual kind of accoutrement that you can put in to kind of show off your uniqueness within a multiplayer game. Beyond the stuff, the portrait and the coat of arms that you'll see outside of the game.
And chat's asking purely cosmetic, right?
Yes, purely cosmetic. They don't offer any bonuses or any advantages of any kind like that other than like, check me out, I'm cool.
A way to personalize your town center and kind of
Absolutely.
show off your prestige to other players.
Awesome. I think that's most of that. I think we're most of the way through. We got a few minutes left. Anyone have any last comments they want to make? Anything else they want to talk about?
Excitement.
Well, I think this is an exciting time of development. We go heads down for a long time, and it's fun to start talking about the game and start maybe acknowledging all of the people and groups and
oh my gosh
and different departments that have helped with the production. I mean, there's the developers who are building, but when you start seeing the effort that goes behind launching a game and the people who are helping with the shows and PR and marketing and community and all the things that help us get the game out to people, it's just it's really remarkable, and you don't realize how big an effort it is, for hundreds and hundreds of people to help deliver these games to fans. And so I really appreciate everything that people do behind the scenes. They don't always get the recognition that they deserve, and so I just wanted to say, big thanks to all the people that have helped build Age of Empires 4.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, people all over the world. I mean, it's really been a community effort to bring this game towards the finish line, right? And it's just the start of the conversation too.
Absolutely.
We've got, there's a reason we say things like the launch civilizations and other things like that. We've got a lot of plans for Age 4 in the future. So yeah, it's all going to start in October.
Yeah, and please keep sending us your feedback. We mentioned in the showcase, and people did notice in the most recent trailer, we're listening all the time. So in fan preview, you didn't feel that weapon scaling was quite right. We've gone and worked on that. So we're listening all the time, taking that to the game team. And so this is a journey that we're going on with our players. And so we just want to be hearing from you.
Yeah. And that journey is rapidly approaching. October 28th, game comes out. Again, you can pre-order right now on Windows, the Microsoft Store, Steam, or it's going to be on Game Pass for PC as well on launch. Definitely head over there. Also, if you haven't yet, sign up to be an Age Insider. This gives you the inside look. It'll give you emails, information, all of that as soon as possible, plus brings you eligible, as long as you go through the steps to upload your DXDI and all of that, it means you're eligible to potentially take part of upcoming betas. And I think for the most part, that brings us to the end of the show. We're running right up to 11 o'clock here. Want to make sure everyone can get to their meetings, go do the rest of their day. We started things off early. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, right? Got to get this game
Playing
done.
Through campaign on hard. That's my.
Oh
that's
my God!
my
Are
job
you?
the next
Wow!
level. Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah, it's fun.
That's
it's some of it's hard.
I can imagine a couple missions where that's gonna be. Yeah, I haven't done that. I haven't braved that yet.
No, that's gonna be one of the things that's gonna take a lot of time and training. I got to beat Elliot first in the next game we play, and then maybe.
Elliot's rivalry is.
Since Elliot's not here, Annie, we can just trash talk him. Let's go destroy him next game. Come on, let's team up.
That informal team. Oh no, we're not playing together.
No, totally not. Except Elliot hears this right now. But don't worry, Elliot. Oh, there he is. What in chat?
Well, thank you for having us, everybody.
Yeah,
thank you so much,
having
everyone.
us on.
Thank you for joining us, Adam, Emma. Thank you for joining us from World's Edge. Quinn, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day as well to hop on stream and chat about a bit about what we've all been making here. All right.
You bet.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, everyone in chat as well, for joining us, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
See you around. Yep. Bye.